What is up, everyone? I'm back here. It's Chase. I'm back here. Titletown Podcast. We're talking about 3 topics today. I'm here with Christian. Christian does a lot of behind-the-scenes work. He runs our social media. He does our logo. He does a bunch of stuff. Although this is a New England fan base podcast, Christian is a Minnesota fan. He's very unbiased, and I'm going to respect his opinion today. Christian, what's your opinion? What's going on with you?
So I'm a Vikings fan, but, I am around Boston sports fans all the time, so I'm pretty much basically a Pats fan, but I'm not necessarily a Pats fan, if you know what that means.
If you know what that means. All right. Here we go. First topic today is obviously the trade deadline just ended. It ended today at 4. So I believe there were 2 trades that happened. Christian, you right? Did that sound right? 2 trades?
Yeah, there's one trade, both involving the Dolphins. One, I think it was Darrell Washington, a running back that got sent over to Miami from the Chiefs. And obviously the trade with Isaiah Ford and the Pats.
Yep. So why don't we just get right into it with Isaiah Ford and the Pats? So I'm sitting here on my phone, and then Mike, who also hosts this podcast, sends a text, says, "Let's go, Isaiah Ford, let's go." I have never heard of this guy before in my life. Look up, he's a wide receiver. And I'm like, there's a chance we might have given up a second-round pick for him. But then we see it's a 2022 conditional 7th-round pick, which is awesome. See, what I like is he is 6'2", believe he's 205, 215. He's a big guy. He's a slot receiver, which is really nice, especially because we just lost our slot receiver in Edelman for the season. So I like the trade. Obviously, I don't have any expectations for him to become the next Randy Moss, to become the next Julian Edelman. I think he's the kind of guy where, coming out of Virginia Tech, Mike told me that he was really good in college. I don't know anything about him. Obviously, he was on the Dolphins, so I should know more because it's the divisional matchups. But one thing I did see is that he technically right now is second leading receiver in New England with 219 yards or 293 yards, something like that. So I don't hate the move. Obviously, what I do like behind the move is that Belichick is not throwing the white towel. We are 2-5, but we don't have that elimination next to our name. Christian, thoughts on that?
Yeah, so obviously it isn't this big blockbuster trade for a big-name wideout like one would hope in New England, but you do get some more depth, and having that slot receiver come in and replace Edelman for the time being is definitely a help. And obviously not giving up too much. You gave up a 2022 7th-round pick, and obviously that won't impact much in the future. He hasn't been very productive in the NFL yet, but maybe this could be that year. You never know, because this is his last year of his contract. He signed with Miami for, I think this is the last year, for $750,000. So he's not cashing the checks. So he's put in a pretty good spot here in New England.
Yeah, you're right. He's was he an undrafted free agent? Do you know that?
No, he was picked very late in the 7th round.
All right. So here's what essentially, and me and Adam talked about this yesterday with trading a guy like Gilmore, if you're going to get that pick, if you're going to get anything out of that player. So right now we gave up a 7th-round pick for this guy. Odds are that 7th-round pick will do even just a little bit more max. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a very fair trade. We have nothing to lose. Belichick does love picking guys in 7th round, but we always see them get cut. So, I'd rather take him. I'd rather have him go and trade for a guy that he likes. So, yeah.
And then help out now.
Say it again, sorry?
And possibly help out now. That's
exactly.
Right now, 2-5. Need something to change up the culture.
Exactly. And you know what? It's at the end of the day, size and wide receivers is very underappreciated. And a 6'2" guy is just what we need, in my opinion. Yep. But the one thing I am worried about is Belichick going to give him those looks, or is he going to be like Isaiah Zuber and get that jet sweep a game and then sit on the bench? But you know what? In Bill, we trust.
Yeah, he has his ways.
He has his ways. All right. Speaking of Bill, there was headlines, next topic, headlines saying that, he had his press conference and people are like, what's going on? You guys are 2-5. He responded, we sold out for 5 years and won 3 Super Bowls. That's what's happening. And he also raised the point that if we could pay people more, we would. And his example is we're paying Cam Newton $500,000 over a year. And, what's your initial reaction to that statement as a non-Pats fan, Christian?
Well, so I kind of look at it and say that he still is paying people. But what people forget about this year is that so many people opted out.
8 opt-outs, league high.
People opt out, including their defensive mastermind and Donta Hightower. He was that gel to defense. And what a lot of the Pats games are is you see the lack of the front seven, and that's where Donta Hightower commanded. And so a lot of those defensive players opting out really created a problem for the Pats, and that's, in my mind, the biggest reason why they're 2-5. So, I mean, it's not like they're trying to finesse contracts right now, because they still are paying big-name players big-name contracts, but you're not seeing them on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense because, we still are paying Stephon Gilmore. We're still paying Devin McCourty. We're still paying Shaq Mason. I mean, you can name a bunch of other guys on that defense, but the big thing is that we did have a league-high 8 opt-outs. And I guess my initial reaction to him saying we sold out, 3 Super Bowl wins in 5 years, and, I'm not going to hate that. Like, if people were saying, I guess you can blame that on your struggles, but at the end of the day, we have 3 Super Bowls. Not every team in the league. Some teams don't even have Super Bowls. Now alone, how many teams have 3 Super Bowls? Like, I don't know. Like, is it 4, 5 have 3 and more? Something like that.
That's 0 Super Bowls, and I thought of my Vikings. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, at the end of the day, we are still, again, cannot stress enough, we are not throwing the red towel. But at the end of the day, if Belichick is going to say we sold out for 3 Super Bowls, I'm A-okay with that because, again, we have 6. We just got 3 in 5 years. And like Christian just said, like his team doesn't even have one. So like, there's nothing to be worried about. Like,
if I could trade out all these past seasons for 3 Super Bowls and then take one bad year, and it's only 7 games, not even halfway through the year yet, where maybe the Pats could turn it around because it's not the Bills' division until they win it. So they still have a chance in this, and I think people may be taking the Bills a little too soon.
Yeah, you know what? I absolutely agree with you on that. I mean, like we saw the Bills play the Pats. The Pats are this horrible 2-5 team. How come we literally lost on the last possession in a game in a finale of a game that happens once every season, once every other season, that kind of type that, you know what I mean? If this is the Bills division, if they're running away with it, we wouldn't have lost them that way we did. We would have lost handsomely and all that good stuff. And, like just to say again, like, as you said, I don't remember exactly what your point was, but if 3 Super Bowls for 1 losing season, and again, 7 games into it, we are, again, no white flag has been done. We just made a move at the deadline. Wasn't a flashy one, but we are not eliminated yet. So there's no need to say that this season's a waste yet.
Yeah, and also that extra wild card in the playoffs might play a big part because there's an extra team this year because of all this stuff that's happening. So the Pats even have a better chance than past years to even maybe sneak in as a wild card.
Exactly. And again, since this is essentially a trade deadline episode, trade deadline special, we move into our final topic, which is, of course, Stephon Gilmore. There's leakage of the Pats asking price, which was a first-round pick and a player in return.
Yep.
So not just, obviously – my initial reaction to it is that the Pats weren't out here offering to Atlanta, Stephon, and we want a first-round pick and Julio. No, I bet you it would have been like a core special team or a guy Belichick doesn't have to worry about. He's very low maintenance, can get those special team tackles because everyone knows that's what Belichick does. He'll trade a 7th-round pick for a guy like Jonathan Batamosi. We signed Justin Bethel last year in the middle of nowhere just to get that extra special team help. So me and Adam obviously covered this yesterday talking about the 3rd-round pick and lower. We don't want them trading Gilmore. And I've got to say, I respect Belichick a lot more that he has a guy who, it all revolves around, again, Pats are 2-5. People are saying trade Gilmore, get that value. I can't say it enough, Christian. You can't say enough either. The season isn't over. The Bills have not won the division. The Jets have not won the division. The Dolphins have not won the division. So initial reactions are, one, we're still trying to win this. We're still trying to go to the playoffs and do as much damage as we can. Two, Belichick definitely got offers such as a third rounder, a second rounder, a fourth rounder. And he said, no, I am all in this year. And that's the reassurance I like. That's the reassurance I think Pats fans should like, is that it's not like we're not putting the TV on Sunday like, all right, here we go, like go opposing team, like saying this week we want go Jets. No, we're still rooting for the Pats because we're still all in, even with all these circumstances. And at the end of the day, how many times have people said, no one can do this, no one can do this, and then the Pats end up doing it?
Yeah, that reassurance was also like, it kind of stood out for me too. Them not giving Gilmore up for too little, because they know what he's worth. They know what they can get for him, and they're not going to back down just because they're 2-5 right now. And them also not giving up anyone else is a great sign. They have a great O-line, not giving up Thuney, even though he was on the franchise tag. It just proves that they aren't willing to give up. And that's always Bill's mentality. Ever since those years with Brady, now that he's gone, he doesn't want to kind of take that dip where most coaches have after a quarterback leaves. So he's trying to keep that level playing field of, Cam was here for a year. Probably won't be here the next year. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out a way to get this done.
Exactly right there. And it also comes down to that, as we've said in previous episodes, that Belichick's the kind of guy that he sees a guy he likes, he will trade up or he will trade down for him. He will risk leg and limb for this guy. And, if people are like tank for Trevor, I don't want that. I don't obviously I would love to have Trevor Lawrence as my next quarterback, but here's the thing. If Bill really wants him, Bill's going to get him. He will give up 3 first-round picks. He will give up 2 first-round picks. He'll give up second, third, fourth. He will get the guy he wants, and it's at the end of the day, the future is the future, and the past is the past, and all we can do now is we still have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I'm not coming out here and saying we have a 50% chance. Even if we have a 1% chance, I want that. You know what I mean? I don't want this Pats team to just be like, all right, like, we have all these opt-outs. We're 2-5 in the second worst division in the league, which is better for us. Again, even easier to win. But yeah, no, this tank for Trevor. If you're a tank for Trevor person, in my opinion, you're a bandwagon, and you shouldn't be calling yourself a Pats fan. Thoughts on that, Christian?
Yeah, that's definitely not in my opinion. But the Patriots have always wanted to win, and that's what they're about. And I think a lot of people forget the first couple of weeks when people saw Cam play and when he was really productive in that offense, that they were looking at, oh shoot, they aren't done yet. They aren't gone. That week against Seattle when they lost by literally 1 yard, where did that go? They just got to find that, translate it in the next few weeks, and then all of a sudden people will be, oh, damn, the Pats are back again.
Exactly. And, as famously said in the past, on to Cincinnati. That was when everyone said Brady's washed up, trade him. On to Cincinnati. What happened? 3 Super Bowls later. And the other thing is, do your job. And you know what? The Pats are doing everything they can to do their job, and that's all we can root for, all we can hope for. Any closing thoughts, Christian? Oh, he might have froze a little bit. All right. Any last thoughts?
I just think it's all year for the Pats. I mean, they've just got to find a way to bear down and get a few more wins. But they got to win their next game, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. If we lose the Jets, that's time to panic.
But yeah. If you lose to the Jets, then you're basically screwed. But I just think like Patriots, and if they can bear down and win 3 of those 5, maybe they'll have a shot at squeaking in the playoffs. Maybe not, but it'll show that their mentality is one that can't be second guess, and it's one that is a winner's.
Exactly. You froze a couple times there, but that's not a big deal. And the end of the day, too, people were saying the Pats are not doing a rebuild; they're doing a reboot. And we're seeing that happen now. And it's life could be worse. Like you said, like we lost Seattle by 1 yard, and Seattle's probably the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. But yeah, so that wraps up today's episode, today's segment. Definitely coming up soon is the Red Sox, have released their top five manager candidates, and one, of course, Alex Cora. So we will be coming back to you when stuff like that happens and when any other news happens. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll get more videos like this, and we're going to be posting a lot more. And, of course, follow us on Instagram at Titletown.pod. At Titletown.pod. I will throw that on the end. And also follow us on Twitter for live tweets, such as Christian today, who tweeted after the Isaiah Ford trade. And he tweets clips of us or what we talk about. Follow us on Twitter at Titletown_pod. It's exactly the same as the Instagram. Instead of a dot, it's an underscore. That closing note. Nice talking to you guys. See you soon. Christian, thank you for joining in.